much effort into thinking about this thing that you made up. And I mean, you put a lot of effort into it as well. So that to have that reflected back is terrific. And then to also see where people can just go like off into directions you had never imagined that are sometimes a little crazy is terrific.
You know, someone guessed Nana mid-season 2. I was like, well done.
Yeah, well, I did left some hooks. Like, there were hooks from almost from season 1, and definitely there were big hooks in season 2. Yeah. So.
I mean, obviously this series is very interactive with the fans, and you guys are pretty active on Twitter and stuff. Except for you, but it's okay. Like, knowing that, do you guys read the YouTube comments? Like, what do you do when, a comment comes in that's maybe criticism that's not constructive? Like, how do you deal with that?
Well, I think what we just said earlier, we'll take what's really great. I think there's some posts, some like longer analysis comments that I even brought into the room. I was like, this person has some really good points that we should all keep in mind. And then you can always tell who's like, this is coming from a personal fanish desire. That's not really helpful to us. Yeah. Like the people who were like, they should kiss in season 0. I was like, why in the branded prequel thing on the side would we jump ahead in the relationship? Like, you know what I mean?
They haven't even met yet. And do you want to ruin their lovely first meeting? No.
No, not that. And when they were watching, those little watching scenes. But I'm like, no, this is not the place. This is not the place. You know?
Yeah. No, and you can tell when people have put a lot of thought into what they're saying, as opposed to they're just sort of firing their id off at you. Yeah. So that's
absolutely,
and that it makes
like
you take.
Some people can only advise for the 2 leads. I think that's great, and at the same time, but they're like, remove everyone else. I'm like, well, we're not going to do that. They're part of the world, you know. So,
and it wouldn't be as much fun.
It wouldn't be as much fun.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt us, but we're at the 4-minute mark. Having Enrico play Lara's father was an immense sweet shock that just makes so much sense. Can you talk about how he was cast and how you all drew him to the world of web series?
Oh, we can go. Well, we actually had a tiny separate budget for casting Laura's dad, and it was kind of a pie in the sky. Like, wouldn't it be great if Veronica Mars had Enrico Colantoni play your father? And obviously, he's a really established actor with over 30 years of his career. Just got off a couple, person of interest where he shot 2 pages a day. So here we come in like, hey, you want to do like 40? So it was a mix of what we had to offer, as well as he was only shooting with us for 2 days, so it's much more manageable for him. And then we have actually a fun tidbit is that our head of Shaftesbury in the US actually developed Veronica Mars while she was at UPN as an exec, so we had a direct line to Enrico. He's also Canadian, so we have like,
Yeah. I mean, for myself, I was so excited to be writing Sherman because, again, he was seated in like the first season, and I knew at some point he would be arriving and being hilarious and overprotective as is dangerous and crazy.
And in season 2, we cut that. She had a conversation with her dad.
There was some very exciting lying to dad in season 2 that I do miss. But yeah, so. It was like getting Enrico on top of that was just so terrific because it went from this thing that you really enjoyed making to this sort of unbelievable synchronicity, and also like the moment when you're like, I made Enrico Colantoni.
He was so fun. You can tell where he's like, so he's in the scene, but he always knew how to save it at moments and kind of be a great scene partner to everyone there. And I thought it was really interesting when he also said that this is what he always wanted to say to Veronica, like, get the hell out. It's like, I finally could say it to Laura. He's like, it was very therapeutic. He's like, he was an enabler, Keith. He's not a good dad. Strong words, my friend.
Last question? Okay, so this year has been in genre media especially, but in television as a whole, a really big minefield for the bury your gaze trope. So is that something that came up, especially when writing this final season, where that sort of thing tends to happen in genre media? Did you guys talk about that in this final event?
Yeah, yes, there was a lot of discussion about that. But we're not going to say more because exactly.
Yeah. Spoilers. And I think we'll see. I think Elisa said it at other panels. The only people who've really died and stayed dead on Carmilla are Morty.
Yep.
Although question mark. And then
well, there's always a question mark.
So the old straight white man and Sarah Jane the straight girl. She for sure we can say is 100% dead.
Yes. Oh no, and I'm good with saying that Vorty's pretty dead.
Yeah.
Like there was some.
Yeah.
I don't really like rolling back consequences when there are consequences.
Right.
Like
It's just
I
that
would
people
say,
are talking about the Vorty heart, right? So they're like, maybe he's alive again. And
Oh, that's true. That's true. There. We didn't manage to get through all of this without one spoiler. Yes, you're witty.
You've accomplished
Various ways.
Witty.
Round up over here. Yeah. After the quick switch. We're ready. The answer. Okay.
Are we switching?
Yeah, we'll switch.
Okay.
Ooh, I don't have to move. Okay.
This is interesting.
So you sure you don't want to give us any more spoilers?
Right? I mean, the cameras are off.
For the panel anyway now, so there we are. She did.
There's time for the panel, I guess.
So anything else?
Yeah.
Burning question.
I got my last question. You guys can go.
I have another one if you don't mind me jumping in.
Yeah, go for it.
The season seems a lot darker in lighting and cinematography and even the characters. Can you talk a little bit about the overall tone for the season and the effect it had on the dynamics?
Oh, that's interesting. So I would say season 3 is in general lighter than season 2.
Yeah.
But you mean in terms of cinematography?
Yeah.
Because we have a different camera this year as well. We had a lot more control over the lighting board, so that's why you'll see everything was happening in real time, like the lights off and on. That is darker is interesting. I hadn't really thought about that. It's definitely less yellow tinge and warm tinge than season 2. But character-wise, I would say it's there's a lot more winds so far in season 2.
And some of it may just be the actual setting. Like the library itself is kind of an
playful.
ominous, dark setting, but at the same time, like yes, it's playful in terms
But
of
still
like
dark.
the theoretical.
Right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.